It's Horace, the man of the hour.
So there's some kind of conspiracy theory going on here? No. It's like,
I was really looking for the rest of it.
Alright, I'm just looking. Alright, so I'm seeing suicide test. Okay, this is good. This is a good place to start. So got all kinds of stuff going on here. Okay, good.
This is good.
So what's up? I want you guys to have fun tonight, okay?
Yeah, we will.
Look at these two.
I know.
Oh no, it's the camera. I'm recording this. I'm not taking a picture. I'm recording this. Well, I already got it.
Okay.
You guys you want to say something for the camera?
Yes, you and me. Donate PayPal.
It's not even on.
Mine is on.
Imagine that it's on. It's on.
You could just push the button and turn it on.
You know what? He's being complicated right now.
Hello. Say hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
My name is Shonda. Tracy.
Jasmine Davis.
Dana Steve.
My year is wrong. They wanted me to come back. I'm 2015. They got 16
Oh, they got
here, but it's all right.
It's all good. It's all
Okay,
good.
it's okay.
Welcome to our firm. And just a couple words before I turn this over to Horace. I've known Maura Healey for some time. What I have to say about Maura in a nutshell is she may have been a point guard in college and in Europe, but I've always thought of her as a Bill Russell type. I think she's always been a center when it comes to civil rights and equal rights especially. And those of us who've worked in civil rights over the years know that to be true. And while I don't know Senators Dorcena, Forry, or Eldridge as well, I have read about them a bit tonight before coming up here. And obviously they are extraordinarily worthy of the awards they're getting here tonight too. So I welcome them, I welcome you, and I welcome Horace, who I'm about to turn this over to. I've actually known Horace a bunch of years through Michael Brown, and as you probably all know, most if not all of you, Horace is undeniable. And it doesn't take long to understand that or learn that once you get to know him. There's no cause that he doesn't take on or no person he tries to help that he doesn't do with a total commitment and a complete desire to do the very best he can by that entity of that individual. So with that, welcome everyone. Congratulations to tonight's awardees. And I'll turn it over to Horace. Thanks.
Allowing us to use this absolutely terrific place. I was telling someone, if I was 30 years younger, I'd love to bring somebody up here with nobody's around. Brothers and sisters, welcome. I have to, well, yeah, I mean, I'm on my best behavior tonight. They got me scripted, so like, allow me to do what I got to do, okay? Brothers and sisters, thank you, and welcome.
A lot of lawyers on this.
Yeah, mind the detail. What was that? I used to, what was that show? Boston Law or something like that? Okay. Boston Legal. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, first off, welcome. Tonight, we launch our campaign for neighborhood leadership, investing in neighborhoods, and developing new leaders. And over the next 2 years, working neighborhood by neighborhood, UMN will be developing new skilled leaders and activists to understand the systems and historic culture that prevents poor working class and communities of color from moving forward. Our awardees tonight are prime examples of great political leadership and courage in our state. As we kick off this campaign, we could have no better example than to highlight the best in public life being awarded. Ultimately, we want real civic engagement to take place, thus creating a more equitable and just city, region, and state. We want more democracy, not less. Maura Healey, who was not kidding when she pledged to lead the People's Law Firm, she's doing it too. Jamie Eldridge, who is a prime example of a suburban elected official who understands the Commonwealth will be a stronger place when all people can participate equally. And Linda Dorcena Forry, who works as hard as the staff at the Union of Minority Neighbors, and I would like to give them a little prop right now. In the audience, so many people have been supportive of our work. And I want to give a particular shout out to someone who I love as a brother and consider my best friend, State Representative Jeffrey Sanchez. He's my breakfast buddy. We revert back to cities south of Boston like New York and Philly and use a whole lot of four-letter words and tell a bunch of lies. So I'm really grateful to my friend. And I can tell you straight up, this is the hardest working benefit committee that anyone has ever seen. I have to say that. Wendy, our chairperson, Wendy Swart Grossman, Sisters of Wonder Woman. Okay, she's a tough old broad, makes everybody do their job. Okay, that's right. Well, all right, tough middle-aged broad. Lynn Adams, the hardest working. The more she said, I'm not doing enough, she does more. Glenn and Josie, who pounded the pavements and edited are really bad pros. Arden and Liz, who wondered if they could do more. I mean, our new fundraising friends like Ron and Polly and Herb and Bruce, Lashard, Jose, Jeff, and Alice, they found out just how hard it really is, to raise money for a loudmouth black organization. And then again, there's our old faithfuls who have not yet tired of pushing everyone they know to donate. Michael, Nadine, Dan, Bob, Meg, and Tracy. Thank you so very, 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 very much. I told you they got me scripted right. Brothers and sisters, now's the time to honor our political voices for change, and our honorees whose voices are loud, strong, and consistent. But before I do that, I have one particular person I absolutely have to thank, besides my wonderful board of directors, who've been together for all these years, since the time we've been together as UMN. I have this one particular best friend, more so than Jeff, more so than my brother Herb Beerbaum. I have one particular best friend who I actually have the pleasure of living with every day of my life. I actually get to sleep with her every day of my life. Some of you may not know that how we met she was my graduate school professor, and I saw my former dean, Michael Swack, in here with his lovely wife. And apparently I passed the class, because now we're going into 21 years. But I have to tell you that without this woman, without her spirit, without her I'm a far-better man for having her in my life. And she was really, besides Wendy, one of the driving forces in making this thing happen. Wherever she is, she might be downstairs, my beloved Sue. Wherever she may be, Sue, she wasn't right here. Maybe she's easily embarrassed, so there you go. All right, and I'll probably hear about when I get home. So what I'd like to do, my friends, right now, so we're going to get into the portion where we have to acknowledge some really, really special people. So at this time, I'd like to bring up the chairman of the board of the Union of Minority Neighborhoods, of the Union of Minority Neighborhoods, Ms. Althea Roach Thomas.
Thank you for participating in this important event. It's very exciting to be a member of UMN, and I'm glad that you could all come. I am pleased to give the Paul Wellstone Award for Political Courage to the Honorable Maura Healey, Massachusetts Attorney General. Paul Wellstone, a native of Minnesota, was a teacher and organizer and a man of great conviction. Horace Small, our executive director, who has organized around the world, like General Healey, in the primary, Paul was elected over a veteran politician. In the general election, he went on to victory to become a senator from Minnesota. Unfortunately, Paul Wellstone is no longer with us, but it is the Union of Minority Neighborhoods' pleasure to give this award in his name to the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Maura Healey.
All right.
Beautiful. Thank you, Healey. A pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much, Horace, for the invitation. Horace, you are unbelievable. You are most unique and most special.
I'm different.
And I enjoy you as much as ever. It's great. And God bless Sue. Let's give another round of applause. No, but we all love Horace and Horace's fight, and not just his fight, but the fights he picks, right? Isn't that what this is all about tonight? I'm so humbled and honored to receive this award, for which I am certainly not worthy. But I will tell you, I am here tonight with so many members of our team in the office. It is the People's Law Firm. I want you to know that. I want you to feel that. And we are only able to do what we're able to do because I've got such amazing folks working with me. And more importantly, working with all of you. My friend Jeff Sanchez, he took me on a tour during the campaign, right? Remember we toured the neighborhoods in JP? I continue to learn
Housing
from
Project.
Exactly.
You were there.
Exactly.
You walked it from top to bottom.
And my honorees, fellow honorees, Senator Eldridge and Senator Dorcena Forry, who were so on the front lines and fighting for economic and racial and social justice. And all of you here, this is what it's about. UMN, what you bring out in people and the way you go about this, it is so important. And it is so needed now more than ever. I had an idea of that. I have a greater idea of that and appreciation having spent the last 2 years going across the state and listening to so many people. And certainly in our office, day in and day out, I see people who are incredibly vulnerable, who are without a voice, for whom employment, healthcare, housing, transportation, education, and our criminal justice system are just in a different place based on their race, based on their zip code, based on their socioeconomic status. We have work to do in America. We have a lot of work to do. I'm privileged to have the opportunity to work with you and to have the Attorney General's office work with all of you, and I so admire everything that you're about, everything you bring to this, and we'll be right there with you along the way. Thank you for opening up your wallets, too. I can say that. But let me just impress upon everybody, for those who are in a position to give, we give with our hearts, we give with our time, and those who are in a position to give, this is a terrific, terrific endeavor, and a win-win. So thank you.
A lot of people, we do organizing, but we do a lot more. It's called the Howard Rye Institute. And this year we have 14 of some of the brightest, the most intelligent, smartest, and committed young people ever. We have some of our last year's class, like Jasmine here, who the idea is to give them the skills they need so that they can do really amazing things. So where are the fellows at? If you see a whole bunch of young kids here, young kids of color, it's probably them, right? In the next 10 years, you're going to have to deal with them, unfortunately. Now I'd like to introduce Tracy Miller, who is our board clerk and a very, very long-time donor, because Tracy is going to present the award to our friend, Senator Jamie Eldridge, arguably one of the best electeds we have in the Commonwealth.
Good evening, and thank you for being here tonight. I'm Tracy Miller. As a member of the board of UMN, I'm delighted to present the Givers to the Community Award to Senator Jamie Eldridge. This award is specifically for people whose lives have been and are devoted to working for change, justice, and equality, something Senator Eldridge has done and continues to do today. As a state representative and now as a state senator for the Middlesex and Worcester districts, Senator Eldridge has focused his energies on such important issues as enhancing public education, stimulating the economy, promoting campaign and ethics reform, protecting the environment, improving public safety and public transportation, and expanding access to health care. These are all issues that affect not just Senator Eldridge's constituency, but our entire state. Senator Eldridge's roots for social justice run deep. Prior to his elections to the State House, he worked as a public interest attorney with Merrimack Valley Legal Services in Lowell, helping low-income residents with issues related to housing, Social Security, disability, and unemployment. Known for his leadership and independence on behalf of his constituents, Senator Eldridge is receiving this award today because he has taken to heart the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he wrote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." It's my honor and pleasure, on behalf of UMN, to present the Givers to the Community Award to Senator Jamie Eldridge.
Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is an incredible honor. I'm really in awe, and I'm just really humbled to get this award. So I just want to thank Union and Minority Neighborhoods, and I'm just so honored to also be receiving an award the evening that our Attorney General is getting an award. I was an early supporter of Maura's. We've known each other for many, many years, and I think when you support someone running for office, especially statewide, there's always this nervousness that the person might not aspire or exceed what you're hoping for. And Maura, I just have to say, in every possible issue, in every courageous decision you've made, you have exceeded my expectations and so many people across Massachusetts. So thank you for all your work. And I want to also congratulate Senator Forry. We are very good friends in the Senate and work on a whole number of issues. One thing I just want to commend her for, that I really saw a sea change in the Senate when she was elected in a special election, is that as someone who's been a senator now for about 7 years, one of the real challenges that we had in the Senate, and unfortunately the whole legislature, is combating anti-immigrant hysteria and anti-immigrant amendments, and we're dealing with that a little bit with the executive branch this week, aren't we? But time and time again in the Senate for the first few years, these anti-immigrants amendments were being passed in different budgets and different pieces of legislation, and we really had difficulty beating them back. And when Linda coming in and telling not only her story, but the relationships and friendships she had with so many legislators, it really made a sea change, and we started defeating those amendments last session, in part due to her leadership. And I'm very proud that this session there's really been a sea change in the entire Senate. It's not a single anti-immigrant amendment has been offered by any legislator, and I really think that's in large part due to Senator Forry's leadership. I'm very honored again to get this award, and I just really want to thank Horace for recognizing me. And you know, tonight is celebrating neighborhoods, and you know, the discussion about sitting down with communities of color and people of color, and I come from a district that's not particularly diverse, Middlesex and Worcester district. It is still Eastern Massachusetts, just so you know. It's not even Central Mass. But you know, how do you sit down with neighborhoods of color? And I actually just did that with Horace. He invited me down to the office in Jamaica Plain, and I remember sitting down with a couple fellows and a couple of people that were going through a process to learn how to advocate, and just learning about the stories about how unfortunately some police discriminate against many residents in Boston, and you know, the feeling of hopelessness that a lot of people felt. And it's just, it really opened my mind and my heart to the recognition that every single legislator, whether you have a diverse district or not, you need to fight for these things. It's important that every single person in Massachusetts gets treated equally. Now, I say that with the end of our formal session last night, and although the legislature got a couple things done, we have a whole lot left to accomplish, whether it's transgender equal rights, whether it's criminal justice reform, whether it's drug law reform, or better access to housing for low-income residents. And I just can't emphasize enough the work that Representative Sanchez, I think I saw Representative Dubois here, Senator Forry, and myself, and of course the Attorney General at the state level. The work that we do and all those battles we're fighting to pass into legislation and transform policy, that would not happen without this organization's support. So thank you so much for this award. It's an incredible honor, and let's keep fighting for this, okay? Thank you.
People I have to acknowledge too are our long-term board chair, Joe Lappy, who is part of the reason why we're still here. I want my dear friend and sister, the Honorable Linda Dorcena, I want to present this award to her because she's all that, a bag of chips and diapers, who looks out for the community all day, every day, 24 hours a day, in that pit called the State House. So, I'm going to say something else, but I'm not going to do that. But, you know, we have one legislator in the building besides Jamie who actually has a soul, who actually has a heart, who's there for the community whatever. It doesn't matter what the issue is or how controversial it may be. Our friend Linda is always here, so I'm honored to give this to State Senator Linda Dorcena for her. Let's go.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right, it is great to be here with all of you. I want to thank the Union of Minority Neighborhoods, want to thank Horace Small, want to thank the board of directors, but thank you for this award. Happy to be in such great presence of Attorney General Maura Healey, who's doing incredible work. Not just when she was on the campaign, she talked about being the people's lawyer. She talked about coming back to our neighborhoods and letting us know what are the services that the Attorney General can do for us. And you know what? She kept her word. She's been out there with her team, letting people know the importance of the Attorney General's office and how we can work together. So thank you for your leadership and your hard work. I want to thank and happy to be here and receive this award at the same time that Senator Jamie Eldridge is receiving this award. He is a great friend. Senator Eldridge was chair for 4 years, and he did an outstanding job in the issues he's been fighting for. We've been talking about the issues about production, making sure we can create housing that's affordable for everyone in our Commonwealth. So thank you, Jamie, for your leadership. But we know this business is not just done by ourselves, right? We have partners and we have coalitions. And there are other members of the legislature, like Chairman Jeffrey Sanchez, who's doing incredible work of healthcare financing. We know Representative Dubois is here as well from Brockton. But you know, it takes all of us working together because we can come up with an idea or we can come up with a bill, but it will never get done if it's not for compromise and bringing the different views to the table to come up with a piece of legislation that will become law. But we rely on you. So many of you here from different organizations from across the Commonwealth, working on issues that are important to our families and our neighborhoods and our communities, focusing on economic development, focusing on our families and strengthening our families and individuals who may have gotten off the wrong road. But we are about helping people. And that's why I'm happy to be here today, to be able to receive this award from the Union of Minority Neighborhoods, focusing on communities of color, and making sure that we could put the pieces in place that's going to allow people to lift and move out of poverty, right? And isn't that what it's about? Yeah. Moving people out of poverty so we all can share and benefit in the progress that's happening in our great Commonwealth. Then we have the teenagers. We have our kids who are falling off the tracks. And we have to help our young adults and our young teens to get back on track. So it's not turning our back on them, but it's saying, what is it that we need to do to help?
Spoke to Congress. When he spoke to Congress, he came into the and John Boehner, very devout Catholic, instrumental getting the Pope to come here, right? And the Pope was in front of Congress, and he said, listen, income inequality is wrong. You can't be selling arms to all these countries in the world. It's wrong. He said that, that the immigrants, we're a nation of immigrants. We're all immigrants. And we have to protect the refugees around the world. And then he said that climate change is real. And John Boehner was directly behind him, weeping. Perhaps realizing he could be going to hell. And people said, will the Pope's message resonate in America? I think it already has. The next day, he resigned. And I just want to say this, ladies and gentlemen, before I leave, that it's so great that you're trying to organize people to get involved in politics. I follow politics. I grew up in a political family. I'm into it in my own way with my comedy, my humor. I recently started an organization called Humor for Humanity. Humor for Humanity. That's right. More than entertainment, raising spirits, funds, and awareness for nonprofits, charities, and social causes. Our mission is your mission. Humor for humanity. Humor in helping, humor in healing, humor in hope. Ha, ha, ha. But here's the thing. When it comes to election day, or when it comes to the time to vote and to knock on doors, we knocked on doors with Linda in South Boston. We worked for Maura. We worked for Martha Coakley. We worked for Elizabeth Warren. We worked for Barack Obama, right? And I gotta tell you, it's invigorating, it's inspiring, because, and I don't care, I say this in front of all my audiences, I don't care if people in Tea Party, Green Party, Republican, Democrat, whatever it is, get involved. Help your candidates, help your party, because at the end of the day, if your side wins, you feel good, you contributed. And even if they lose, you know that in your heart, you did everything you could do to help make a difference. And last election, 2014, I was working for Martha Coakley. I'm in Central Square, Cambridge, Massachusetts. My job on election day was to be in front of the Central Square station, have my election sign, right? Martha Coakley, I'm trying to get people to the polls, primarily young people, right? So I'm up there and I got the sign, I'm going, let's do this, you guys, it's election day, let's do this. Let's help elect the first woman governor of Massachusetts, let's do this. And a lot of the kids are coming up out of the subway, they got the earphones on, they're not paying any attention to me, right? They're ignoring me. I start getting upset. I start making stuff up, right? I said, listen, you kids. I didn't storm the beaches of Normandy and take on the Nazis hand to hand so people could not vote on election day. They'll keep them walking past me, not listening to me, right? I get even more upset, right? I get even more bizarre. I start making more things. Listen, you kids. I didn't take a musket ball in the knee at the Battle of Bunker Hill so young professionals in Cambridge could squander their constitutional rights to vote. This kid comes up to me, dead serious, about 19 years old, looks me in the eye and says, thank you for your service. Thank you so much, everybody.
This evening. Another round of applause for Jimmy Tingle. Treasurer, and for Attorney General Healey. And for all of you, thank you.
This is for the we should just have a dance party.
Yeah.